colony of Hestia 9 had always been quiet. It floated near the edge of human space, far from Earth and far from the busy trade lanes of the galaxy. People lived simple lives there. They grew food in sealed farms, repaired ships, and watched distant stars through clear dome windows. Most believed the colony was too small to matter to anyone beyond human space. Jay stood near the outer viewing platform when the first warning came. He was a systems engineer, responsible for power lines and shield checks. His shift had been calm, almost boring. The stars looked peaceful, and the station lights reflected softly against the glass. Then the alarms screamed. Red lights flashed across the platform. A sharp voice echoed through the colony speakers, calling for all civilians to move to shelters. Jay froze for a moment, confused. There had been no sign of danger. No ships on radar. No messages from the Galactic Council. "What is happening?" Hannah asked as she ran toward him. She worked in hydroponics and still wore her green work suit. Fear showed clearly on her face. "I don't know," Jay said. "The sensors were clean minutes ago." The floor shook. A deep sound rolled through the station, like thunder trapped inside metal. Somewhere far above them, something struck the colony shields. Yuna, a young communications officer, appeared on the platform screen. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Unknown vessels entering orbit. They are not responding. They are charging weapons." Jay felt his chest tighten. "How many?" Yuna swallowed. "Too many." The shields flared bright blue, then flickered. The second strike came harder. Parts of the outer ring exploded into fire and debris, drifting into space like burning snow. People screamed. Some ran. Others stood frozen, unable to understand how fast their peaceful home had turned into a battlefield. The alien ships finally appeared on the main display. They were long and dark, shaped like sharp blades. No markings, no warnings, just cold movement and silent intent. "These are not pirates," Hannah whispered. "This is war." Jay knew she was right. Pirates wanted cargo. Raiders wanted fear. These ships wanted only destruction. The colony governor, Day, appeared on every screen. His face was pale, but his voice was steady. "This is Governor Day. We are under attack by a hostile alien force. We have sent emergency signals to Earth and nearby human systems. All civilians must move to shelters immediately." Another blast shook the colony. The shields failed. Fire rushed through open corridors as hull sections broke apart. The artificial sky of the habitat dome cracked, then shattered. Air screamed outward, pulling debris and people into the void. Jay grabbed Hannah's arm and pulled her toward an emergency hatch. "Move!" he shouted. They ran through smoke and falling panels. The lights died, replaced by the red glow of emergency strips along the floor. The colony felt like a wounded animal, breaking apart piece by piece. In the shelter, dozens of people huddled together. Children cried. Adults held each other in silence. Above them, the sound of impacts never stopped. Yuna's voice came again through a broken speaker. Earth received the signal. They are listening. Hope flickered, weak but real. Then the shelter door shook violently. Something massive struck nearby. Dust fell from the ceiling. The lights went out completely. Jay held his breath. Moments later, the shelter was torn open. Alien soldiers entered, tall and armored, their weapons glowing with deadly light. They did not speak. They did not hesitate. The killing was fast. Later, far away, a small probe drifted through the ruins of Hestia 9. It recorded the destroyed colony, the broken stations, and the cold silence left behind. The probe transmitted everything across space toward Earth. On Earth, the message arrived in a secure military chamber. Large screens showed burning corridors, floating bodies, and the final moments of the colony. General Sun watched without moving. Around him, other officers stood in complete silence. No one spoke. No one looked away. "They destroyed everything?" an aide whispered. Sun nodded slowly. "Yes." "Should we send a protest to the Galactic Council?" another officer asked. Sun turned his head. His eyes were calm, but something hard burned behind them. "The Council already knows. They always know. The room stayed quiet. On another screen, a final message from Governor Day played. His voice was tired but clear. If anyone hears this, remember us. The screen went dark. Sun closed his eyes for a brief moment. When he opened them again, his voice was cold and steady. Begin confirmation protocol. Identify the attackers. Lock their systems. Prepare fleet status. An officer hesitated. Sir, this could start a galactic war. Sun looked at him. No, the war already started. We are just arriving late. Deep beneath Earth's surface, doors that had not opened for decades unlocked. Ancient shipyards powered up. Massive structures, hidden from all alien eyes, came alive. Far from the galaxy's crowded lanes, silent shapes waited in the dark. Terran warships, built not for display but for survival and victory. Back in space, the alien fleet left the ruins of Hestia 9 behind. To them, it was a small action, a simple message. Humans were weak. Their colonies were fragile. The galaxy would not care. They were wrong. As Earth systems finished collecting every detail of the attack, a single status light turned from red to green. The Terran War Fleet was waking up. Earth did not cry out after the fall of Hestia 9. There were no public speeches filled with anger. No message was sent to the Galactic Council asking for justice. From the outside, it looked like humans had accepted the loss. Inside Earth's military command, the mood was very different. Gene stood in the center of the main strategy room, staring at the star map. He was a fleet planner, calm and careful by nature. Around him, officers worked in silence, their hands moving across glowing panels. The map showed Hestia 9 as a dark mark, slowly fading. So it's confirmed, said Mira, a tactical analyst. No survivors. Gene nodded. Confirmed. For a long moment no one spoke. Then Captain Du broke the silence. The attackers withdrew immediately after the colony was destroyed. Clean operation. No signals. No demands. Which means they wanted to send a message, Mira said. Yes, Gene replied. And they believe we will stay quiet. In another room deep below the surface, President Juan sat at a long table made of dark stone. Military leaders, scientists, and advisors surrounded him. The air felt heavy, like the moment before a storm. The Galactic Council has released a statement, said Advisor Nari. They claim the colony was inside disputed space. They advise restraint. President Juan leaned back slowly. His face showed no anger, only focus. Did they condemn the attack? Nari hesitated. No. Juan nodded once. Then their answer is clear. General Sun stood at the end of the table. We have identified the attacking force. A regional alien power operating with council tolerance. They assumed Earth would complain, not respond. And what do we do? Asked a civilian advisor, voice shaking slightly. Sun's answer was simple. We follow doctrine. The word echoed in the room. Human doctrine was old, written after humanity's first brutal wars among the stars. It was short, clear, and never shared with outsiders. If a human world is destroyed, the response must remove the threat forever. President Juan stood. Begin sealed protocol. At his command, systems long asleep came alive. Across Earth, hidden doors opened beneath mountains, oceans, and deserts. Power surged into massive underground structures. Machines moved for the first time in decades. Far from Earth, deep in empty space, silent platforms received encrypted signals. Locks disengaged. Ancient engines warmed. Gene felt the change even before he was told. His console lit up with new data, access codes he had never seen before. They're opening the black files, he whispered. Mira looked at him. Those are real. They always were, Gene said. A massive hologram formed in the center of the room. Shapes appeared one by one. Ships unlike anything in common space. Thick armor. White hulls. Dense weapon clusters. The Terran War Fleet. These ships were built in silence, Gene explained. No trade lanes. No council oversight. No shared technology. Captain Du crossed his arms. How many? Jean zoomed the display out. More shapes appeared. Then more. Enough, Jean said. Meanwhile, far from Earth, the alien commanders who led the attack on Hestia 9 gathered aboard their flagship. They watched reports with calm confidence. The humans have not responded, said one officer. As expected, replied Commander Ral. They will protest to the council and accept compensation. Should we prepare defenses? Another asked. Ral waved the idea away. Unnecessary. Humans fear escalation. Back on Earth, no protests were written. Instead, flight crews arrived at hidden bases. Men and women walked with steady steps, no fear in their eyes. They had trained for this moment their entire lives, even if they never believed it would come. Sue, a young pilot, ran her hand across the hull of her assigned warship. The metal felt warm, alive. She's bigger than the simulators, she said softly. Her commander, Tay, nodded. And meaner. What's our mission? Sue asked. Tay looked at the stars beyond the hangar shield. To make sure no one ever does this again. Across the fleet, similar conversations took place. No cheers. No anger. Only quiet purpose. Jean finalized route calculations. We bypass council gates. We use dark jumps. Mira frowned. That will reveal our technology. Jean met her eyes. After what they did, secrecy no longer matters. The order was given. The first Terran warship slipped into space without a sound. Then another. Then hundreds more. They did not form parade lines. They vanished, one by one, into controlled darkness. On the edge of known space, a small alien listening post detected something strange. Gravity shifted. Sensors screamed errors. Then the post stopped transmitting. Minutes later, a patrol fleet vanished. Reports flooded alien command channels. Confusion spread. Systems failed. Communications broke down. Commander Ral frowned for the first time. Find the cause. A frightened officer turned toward him. Sir, something is attacking us. We cannot see it. Back on Earth, President Juan watched the fleet status lights turn green, one after another. Send no messages, he ordered. Let our actions speak. The Terran War Fleet moved like a shadow across the galaxy. The war had begun, even if the galaxy did not yet understand it. And this time, Earth was not asking permission. The first strike came without warning. An alien defense station drifted above a pale blue gas giant, watching empty space. This crew believed the sector was safe. No war alerts. No hostile signals. The screens showed nothing but stars. Then the stars bent. Sue felt the shift inside her warship before the sensors confirmed it. Her hands tightened on the controls as the ship slid out of dark space. Around her, the Terran fleet appeared in silence, massive shapes locking into formation with perfect control. Target confirmed, said Tay from the command chair. His voice was calm. Weapons free. Sue did not answer. She did not need to. Blue light flashed across space. The alien station's shields collapsed in less than a second. A focused strike cut through its core. The station broke apart, glowing pieces drifting away into the void. No escape pods launched. Sue swallowed hard. This was not a drill. This was not training. But she felt no fear. Only a cold sense of duty. Across the sector, similar scenes unfolded. Terran warships appeared close, struck fast, and vanished again. Alien patrol fleets never saw their attackers. Command ships lost power before they could send warnings. Jean watched the report stream in from Earth. Lines of green text marked each confirmed neutralized target. His face stayed still, but his eyes moved quickly. They are reacting now, Mira said beside him. Enemy fleets are mobilizing. Jean nodded. Too late. The Terran fleet did not chase fleeing ships. It moved deeper, striking key points with careful order. Shipyards, fuel depots, communication hubs. The alien empire that destroyed Hestia 9 began to feel something new. Fear. Commander Ral stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the tactical display. Red markers blinked and vanished too fast to follow. They are everywhere, an officer said. And nowhere. Ral slammed his fist against the console. Identify their ships. We cannot, the officer replied. Their signatures change. Their weapons ignore our shields. Ral felt a tightness in his chest. This was not how wars were supposed to go. Humans were meant to be weak, divided, careful. Send a request to the Galactic Council, he ordered. Demand intervention. Back on Earth, President Juan received the Council's emergency signal. He did not open it. They are asking for a ceasefire, Advisor Nari said quietly. Juan shook his head. They had a chance to speak when our colony burned. General Sun stood nearby, watching a live feed of fleet movements. Our ships are maintaining discipline, he said. No civilian targets. No uncontrolled fire. Good, Juan replied. Let the galaxy see who we are. In space, Zeus' warship slid into another system. This one held a massive alien shipyard, ringed by defense platforms. Sirens blared as the Terran fleet appeared. Multiple targets, Zeus said. Tay nodded. Follow the pattern. The warships split apart, moving with smooth precision. Each strike was planned. Each target chosen for effect, not anger. Explosions lit the darkness as platforms failed one by one. The shipyard tried to raise shields, but Terran weapons cut through them like thin glass. Sue watched a massive alien carrier break apart. She felt a strange weight in her chest. Do you think they understand now? She asked softly. Tay did not look away from the screens. They will. Far across the galaxy, news spread faster than any official message. Traders spoke in whispers. Independent worlds locked down their borders. Even council space fell quiet. Humans were at war, and humans were winning. On one distant world, an alien governor stared at a public broadcast showing the ruins of a fleet base. How did we miss this? He asked. No one answered. Jean leaned back from his console as another system went dark. They are collapsing, he said. Command structure is failing. Mira studied the data. If we push harder, we could end it in days. Jean was silent for a moment. No, we continue as planned. Why? Because this is not about speed, Jean said. It is about memory. In the alien capital system, panic ruled. Ships fled. Leaders argued. Emergency laws failed to restore order. Commander Ral stood alone in his ready room, staring at a recording of Hestia 9's destruction. He had ordered that strike. At the time, it felt small. Now it felt heavy. An aide entered, shaking. Sir, Terran warships have entered the inner systems. Ral closed his eyes. Zeus' ship exited dark space near the alien core world. The planet below glowed with city lights. Defense fleets gathered in orbit, forming desperate lines. Weapons standing by, Zeus said. Tay raised a hand. Hold. The Terran fleet stopped just outside firing range. For the first time, they did not attack. A single message broadcast across all channels, translated into every major language. This is Earth. The voice was calm, clear. You destroyed a human colony. You ended innocent lives. We are here to make sure it never happens again. The message ended. Then the Terran fleet moved. They did not strike the planet. They erased the defense fleets. Every warship, every weapons platform, one by one until space was silent. Sue exhaled slowly. Back on Earth, the last red markers vanished from the map. The flames had spread across the galaxy, and everyone was watching. The galaxy changed after the fall of the alien defense fleets. Systems that once felt safe now felt exposed. Trade lanes emptied. Independent worlds shut down ports and powered up old shields. Everyone waited to see what Earth would do next. Sue watched the stars drift past her cockpit window. The Terran fleet moved slowly now, no longer striking without pause. The silence felt heavier than battle. They're scared, she said quietly. Tay nodded. As they should be. Ahead of them, another alien system waited. This one was not a military hub, but it fed power and supplies to dozens of war fleets. Jin's planning had marked it as vital. Confirm targets, Tay ordered. Confirmed, Sue replied. No civilian centers in strike range. Then proceed. The Terran warships spread out, forming wide attack lines. When the first shots came, they were precise and limited. Power stations vanished. Storage rings broke apart. Defense platforms fell one after another. Within minutes, the system went dark. On the alien homeworld, leaders gathered in panic. Holoscreens showed burning shipyards, silent fleets, and empty space where defenses had been. They are dismantling us, one official said. Not conquering. Not negotiating. Another leaned forward, fear clear in his voice. They are teaching a lesson. Commander Ral stood among them, older now, shoulders heavy. We taught them first, he said quietly. A transmission request appeared across all channels. It carried the seal of the Galactic Council. They want to speak with Earth, an aide said. Back on Earth, President Juan finally allowed the Council channel to open. The faces of many alien representatives filled the screen. Some looked angry. Most looked afraid. You must stop this, one council member said. The balance of the galaxy is breaking. Juan folded his hands calmly. The balance broke when you allowed our colony to burn. The attackers acted alone, another voice argued. Juan's eyes hardened. They acted with your silence. The council chamber fell quiet. General Sun stepped forward. Our fleet will continue until the threat is removed. No more. No less. What do you want? A council elder asked. Sun answered without hesitation. Assurance. Back in space, Su's ship arrived near a massive alien command world. Unlike before, the Terran fleet did not rush in. They're waiting, Su said. Yes, Tay replied. For understanding. A single Terran warship moved ahead of the fleet. It broadcast a wide message, open and clear. We are not here to rule you, the message said. We are here to end your ability to harm us. Then the attack began. Every military structure in orbit was destroyed in careful order. No cities were touched. No ground forces landed. The planet below watched helplessly as its power faded. Commander Ral stood in silence as his world lost its shields. This is my fault, he said. No one argued. Across the galaxy, stories spread. Humans did not kill without reason. Humans did not take territory. Humans removed danger. Independent systems began rewriting their defense plans. Some sent quiet apologies to Earth. Others declared neutrality and prayed they would never be tested. Jean reviewed the latest data from Earth. Enemy command is broken, he said. They can't coordinate. Mira nodded. Their war fleets are gone. Then we are almost finished, Jean said. On Earth, President Juan looked out over the planet's blue surface from orbit. Fires burned in distant systems, but Earth remained untouched. They will remember this, Nari said beside him. They must, Juan replied. For peace to last. The Terran fleet slowed its advance. One system after another went quiet, not destroyed, but stripped of weapons. Su felt the tension ease for the first time since Hestia 9. Do you think it's over? She asked. Tay took a long breath. The war is ending. The lesson is not. Far away, the ruins of Hestia 9 drifted in silence. Small Terran drones moved among the wreckage, collecting remains, marking names, saving every memory they could. The galaxy watched as Earth did something unexpected. The Terran War Fleet began to withdraw. The Terran War Fleet pulled back in slow lines, like a tide returning to the deep. Warships vanished into dark space one by one, leaving quiet systems behind. No banners were raised. No victory signals were sent. The galaxy waited, unsure if the storm was truly over. On Earth, Jean stood again in the strategy room. The star map was calm now. No red alerts. No moving fleets. Only markers showing worlds that had lost their weapons and power. It's finished, Mira said softly. Jean nodded. The threat is gone. Will they rebuild? She asked. They will, Jean said. But they will remember. President Juan addressed the nation in a short broadcast. He did not speak of glory or triumph. He spoke of loss. We did not seek this war, he said. We answered it. We will honor the dead by protecting the living. The message ended. Earth returned to its quiet routine, but nothing felt the same. Far from Earth, near the ruins of Hestia 9, Terran drones continued their work. They moved carefully, collecting remains, recording names, rebuilding memory. Hannah stood inside a small transport ship, watching through the viewport. She had survived by chance, evacuated during a supply run days before the attack. The guilt stayed with her. "They're making a memorial," she said. Jay stood beside her. He had been rescued from a damaged shelter, injured but alive. "It matters," he replied, "that they remember us." A new station frame slowly took shape near the wreckage. Stronger, heavier, protected by silent Terran guardians that would never leave. "This place will live again," Jay said. Hannah nodded. In distant council space, the Galactic Council gathered under heavy security. The chamber felt smaller than before. The confidence was gone. "We must change our laws," one member said. "What happened cannot happen again." Another agreed. "Human worlds must be protected. Any attack will be treated as a threat to all." No one argued. The new rules passed without resistance. Commander Ral stood alone in a quiet room on his homeworld. He was no longer in command. The war had ended his career and his pride. He watched a replay of Earth's final message. "We are not your enemy," the human voice said, "but we will never be your victim." Ral closed his eyes. On the edge of human space, Sue guided her warship toward a hidden dock. The engines powered down for the first time in weeks. "We're going home," she said. Tay smiled faintly. "We never left." Crew members moved through the ship, tired but steady. No one celebrated. They knew what had been lost. General Sun met President Huan in a quiet observation room. Earth turned slowly below them. "The fleet performed as expected," Sun said. "Yes," Huan replied, "and it must sleep again." Sun nodded. "Until it is needed." Across the galaxy, traders spoke carefully of humans. Stories changed. Where once humans were seen as weak and divided, now they were known as calm, patient, and dangerous when pushed. Parents told their children a simple rule: do not harm human worlds. Back at Hestia 9, the new colony opened its first dome. Children ran across fresh floors. Lights filled the sky once more. Hannah planted the first tree. Jay watched the stars through new glass, stronger than before. "They tried to erase us," Hannah said. "And failed," Jay replied. Far away, deep in space, the Terran War Fleet rested in silence, hidden from all eyes. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity returned to peace. But the stars would never forget what happened when a human colony burned.